Welcome into the PAC Sports Network for our halftime show, as we are now joined by head coach of the Franciscan women's basketball team, Coach Iliana Spoelman. Coach, first off, thanks so much for joining us today. I know this is your first year, not with the Barons. You've been a regular in the program for a long time, but first year as the head coach of Franciscan. What has it been like for you just adjusting to that new role?
Yeah. So yeah, as you said, I've been an assistant for the Barons for about 4 years. My first year as the head coach. I would say biggest adjustment would obviously be more hands-on management with the team, more hands-on management in coordinating with coaches in the pack, coordinating games. And I would say those are kind of like the biggest jumps that we have to kind of manage and work with. But other than that, it's been a great ride so far.
Well, I know that you also have a history as a player with Franciscan, one of the
Yes.
top scorers all time, and then, like you said, going to become an assistant and now a head coach. How do you feel that those previous years with the Barons, whether as a player or as an assistant, has kind of, like you mentioned, allowed for that transition into this new role?
Yeah. I would say, obviously, with my experience being here as a player, my heart and soul goes out to these kids that are currently playing. Being able to kind of see and have the experience, good day in and day out throughout the grind of a season, understanding, your bodies, especially when you're hitting the second half of the season, how they're feeling, trying to relate to that as well, and then also trying to see the mental aspect of the grind as well in the second half of the season. And I relate to that a lot when I see them in the day-to-day, the practices, the games, the ups and downs. So I had to credit my time playing to understand and relate to that a lot. And then being able to see it on the other side as the assistant also has helped me a lot to kind of see on the other side as a player. I had that experience, and then now as an assistant, being able to see, okay, this is a little bit more of the management side, making sure we're running things correctly, properly. But yeah, I would say I could relate to them in terms of like their mental, their physical, and what they're feeling right now.
I want to get into kind of a unique aspect and connection with the program. I know that you coach your sister Elena, who's
Yes.
also on the team. Then you also have the aspect that you have Michaela Doan and Madison
Yes.
Doan, who are sisters on the team. So clearly, kind
Mhm.
of a familial connection that Franciscan
Mhm.
basketball draws in. I mean, what's that like for just the program overall? That you kind of have that unique family connection with kind of that
Mhm.
sisterhood bonding together, and how do you feel that kind of is contagious around the rest of the team, that family aspect?
Sure. Yeah. I think so. I coached my sister in high school as well. So we were able to kind of build and grow a good relationship dynamic between coach and player. I'm pretty hard on her, but I think she's done a great job. I'm very, very proud to be a coach, sister of her. She's taken leaps and bounds, and I think her and I have developed a pretty good coach player relationship in terms of that. And then also, yeah, with the Doan sisters, it's so funny seeing them around. They're so comfortable with each other. They're so great to work with. They're so funny. Michaela and Maddie, there's similarities, but they're so different at the same time. Michaela is so young, she's so sweet, and yeah, she's great. And Maddie's very she speaks her mind, and Michaela's more quiet on that end. So it's great. I think we're all about having a family atmosphere here, having a good culture, and I think having those sisters and having my sister and is a great dynamic for our team.
And without a doubt, and it sounds like the Doan sisters balance each other out, which is very, very good. Which
Yes.
I'm sure
Yes.
that again, and you and your sister can kind of relate to that, and the fact that
Hmm.
what's it like being around your sister in an environment outside of the house, right? Being on a
Hmm.
team and whatnot. But Coach, it's been great to have you on for our halftime show.
Absolutely.
Before we let you run, I know with you being your first year head coach, you probably have a lot of things that you want to install culture wise and program wise
Yeah.
for not just this year but moving forward. So, what are some of the long term goals that you have for this program, and in what way do you think that those can be maybe achieved even earlier on, like maybe at some point this year?
Yeah. Well, I would say one of the biggest dynamics that I try to implement this year, one of our like team mottos is like culture, excellence, and virtue. And really fighting for culture every single day. And I think for me, that means being able to have good character, good integrity, work hard. And we are here at Franciscan, we kind of have the mentality like we're here to grow you as a whole person. And basketball is obviously it's very important to us. We want to push you, we want to grow you, but we also want to implement like sports do. There's a lot of adversity that you have to go through. There's a lot of discipline you have to maintain. So we really want to try to develop that and cultivate that in our team culture as the whole person first, and then being able to push them hard, especially when they're in our program, being able to say, hey man, like you can do it. You don't think you can do it. You can go, you could take that extra step. You can do that. And I think a lot of it is just developing the mental toughness aspect. That was kind of my main focus this year. And I think moving forward, I think that's just going to still be our MO, is going to be able to focus and implement culture, get stronger mentally. And I think on like the X's and O's page, like once we, get everyone healthy, once we get, we'll have some numbers back, we'll have some people back as well. We'll be able to kind of instill that a little bit more within more of a competitive environment. But the girls this year so far have been able to really take it under their wings and run with it. And I couldn't be more proud of them.
Well, definitely a lot of exciting things on the horizon for Franciscan women's basketball. Coach, again, thanks so much for stopping by, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Jack. Have a good night.
That's head women's basketball coach for Franciscan, Iliana Spoelman. Don't go anywhere, as we'll have senior guard Natalie Connor of Franciscan women's basketball join us when we return right here on the PAC Sports Network.